of the mall, and we'll bring you all that later. But we're still, of course, trying to learn more. This is a very active and developing situation, so just stay tuned with us, and we'll keep on bringing you updates.
Okay, Liam Combs live for us at the mall.
Grainger knows that as a procurement coordinator at a manufacturer,
talk to Rick Poche, who is one of our photojournalists. He is out there. We've got him back on the phone again. Rick, tell us where you are in position of the mall and what you are seeing.
Okay, Dion, I am on the back side of the mall, kind of between the Dillards and the JCPenney rear entrance. I have seen 4 ambulances leave out of here, lights and sirens with police escorts evacuating people. I see 3 more ambulances out near the entrance, and I've started to see some customers, what it looks like, exiting the mall. So it seems that they're now starting to allow people to leave a little bit. There is a heavy police presence. I've never seen this many police officers in one place in my 36 years in the news business. This place is locked down tight. There's 1 or 2 helicopters in the air searching the area. I'm not exactly sure what you guys are hearing is going on inside, but from where I see, police have, between East Baton Rouge and the Sheriff's Department, State Police, have all kind of blanketed the area.
Yeah, we just moments ago saw members of State Police on the scene as well. I know you said you saw some people just coming out of the mall, possibly patrons or people who may have worked in the mall. Can you kind of describe how they were, if you were able to notice anything, how their demeanor was?
They walked out fairly calm. I did see a mom walking out with what looked like maybe a 4-year-old child. The 4-year-old child was crying. They were off in the distance. I could see her leaving. Hang on a second. What's that? Yeah, that's just some more folks walking out of the mall. They all look pretty calm, considering what has been playing out inside. It looks like police are allowing them to leave in little batches. So that I would imagine they're probably, screening them and then allowing folks out in batches, because you'll see 5 or 6 or 8 walk out at a time, and then a couple of minutes will pass by, and then see another 6 or 8 folks walk out together.
Got it. Thank you for that perspective. We will get back to you later. Let's go out to our Greg Merriweather, who you can see right there in that picture is in this on that scene. Greg, what have you seen?
Friends, we're out here at the Mall of Louisiana. We'll give you one more look here just to kind of set the scene for you where we are. This is the back area where you would go in from the food court. So as soon as you go in through those doors that you're looking at there, you get on the escalator and you've got the Raising Cane's and the food court. Apparently that second floor up there is where the shooting happened. We do know at least one person was firing inside. That person is no longer here at the Mall of Louisiana. We believe that they've gotten away somehow. I did see several different law enforcement agencies rush away from here, so that could lead us to believe that maybe they have some type of intel on where that person may be. We have heard as many as 6 victims. We do know that at least 2 were in really, really bad shape, as it was described from a law enforcement source. They're now slowly letting all the employees out of the mall. So if you've got a loved one or your young people that work here, they've just about cleared them out. I've seen different store groups come out. If you'll remember, there's like a little soap group inside the food court. I saw that group come out in different restaurants and things like that. They've got all of this blocked off, so it won't be a good thing to come this way if you do have somebody that you're at all concerned about. We do know that a lot of the victims were taken to the hospital. Now, as far as law enforcement, they've got everybody out here that you could imagine, from State Police, the Sheriff's Office, to BRPD. I did see former Chief LaDuff, who is now working in law enforcement for the Mayor's office. He is out here as well, going in to see what kind of information he can get from inside. But just to kind of give you the headline that we know of right now, is the helicopters are in the air and they're searching for a suspect or maybe suspects. We do know at least 6 people were injured in a shooting in the second floor of the food court there. Now, all of that, of course, is preliminary, and oftentimes, as we've seen over the many decades of covering these things, some information like that could change. So we're getting the best that we can and locking it down from police, but even they are telling us that a lot of it is just preliminary information. So oftentimes, live reporting, a rough draft of history, so we will see what ends up coming out of this. I'll give you a kind of a look as we'll kind of pan around. Darren, let's just kind of show them what the parking lot looks like now. It's basically scattered with employee cars and sheriff's cars and people who were just at the mall that didn't have a chance to get out just yet. I've got our Liam Combs here. Liam, you talked with one of the people that came out of there. What were they telling you?
Well, Greg, I talked to multiple people who were coming out of the mall, also people that were already out. So there was this one guy who was waiting for his wife. He didn't know if she was able to exit or not. She's actually a mall employee. There was another woman who I talked to outside. She was visibly distraught. One of her she's a caretaker. One of her patients was actually shot in this shooting and is likely one of those victims that we're hearing about today, one of those 6 victims. And then, of course, we talked to this mall employee who also said, look, we were trained for this. Everything went as we planned for, and they got out safely. And she says, despite the chaos, it was a top-tier shape. Elgin did say he was willing to talk to us in a couple minutes, so we'll wait on that.
Elgin McNeely is the Public Information Officer for the Baton Rouge Police Department, somebody who's been giving us a lot of these details. And we did talk about calming some of the fears of Baton Rouge. Of course, this is your mall and just an unbelievable, unshakable incident that's happened out here. So we know a lot of people are on edge right now, but I can tell you that it's safe and secure out here as far as we know with what's going on here. We're going to send it back to you guys. We're going to try to get with the Baton Rouge Police Department and get some witnesses to this, and we'll be back here shortly.
All right, Greg Merriweather there with Liam Combs giving us a view of what's happening on the ground in this active situation. We have several leaders in government coming out and saying things. I know we don't have this one on a full screen. Oh, well, here we go with the governor first. Giving us this statement saying, I am aware of the active shooter scene at the Mall of Louisiana. I am in coordination with law enforcement, and we will update as we know more. Please avoid the area, which is the common thing coming from a lot of people. Sharon and I are praying for those affected and are grateful for a quick response by our law enforcement officials.
We're also hearing from AG Liz Murrill today. As you can see, she has said that I have spoken to District Attorney Hiller Moore, who is actively monitoring the situation involving a weapon or weapons being discharged in the food court at the Mall of Louisiana. Multiple law enforcement agencies are responding. Again, please avoid the area. More details will be available soon. That's from Attorney General Liz Murrill.
And this is a scene video just into our newsroom from what it looks like outside the mall. This is shot by our Rick Porche, who we talked to just moments ago, where he told us what he was seeing on the ground. Again, 6 victims, 2 in bad shape. Apparently this shooting happening in the food court of the mall. Also, we know that the hospitals nearby have already begun accepting patients. If we can go to the live picture that we may have from Our Lady of the Lake, that is one of the hospitals that we've been told that has accepted some patients that have been taken there from the mall, which is not that far away. So there's that convenience factor in an emergency like this where you can get someone the treatment that they need in a quick amount of time.
Yeah, so trauma center there close by to where they can get those victims there as quickly as they possibly can. Let's take a look at a map of the area right now so you can see exactly where we're talking about. So this is the area of the Mall of Louisiana where you can see 6 people injured, 2 critically injured, as we know so far. So you can see it's a pretty congested area right there. So, you have this all-agency police presence responding to that one area after word of an active shooter, mass shooting there at the mall. So they've got a lot of space right there that they need to block off. As you can see, the governor, also the attorney general, telling people, avoid that area if you don't have to be in that area, because this is a very active investigation and they are still looking for people involved in this shooting.
And also you mentioned those leaders, also Mayor President Sid Edwards saying the same thing, asking people to stay clear of the area. And he says we are currently monitoring the situation closely and coordinating with BRPD and EMS, and says that they will provide updates as soon as it becomes available. You can see there EMS workers with okay, no one is on that. So sorry, that was why I paused. I was trying to see if anyone was being taken to that ambulance.
You can see right now someone with the sheriff's department right now walking with what appears to be either employee or customer from the mall. You can see the distress on her face. I don't know if she is a witness to what happened, but it looks like they are concerned about, her condition and what she has to say. I'm sure throughout the course of the afternoon, lots of people will be interviewed, so authorities will know exactly what happened from one moment to the next. And she is visibly upset walking there with what appears to be a sheriff's deputy.
Yeah, and also we just saw former Police Chief Jeff LaDuff walk through there while we were talking about this young lady who you can see she's crying. She is visibly distressed, as Tisha was saying. And so hopefully, she can get what she needs in order to grasp what has just happened here at the mall.
Yes, all of this going on for at least over an hour now, with as everything unfolds, and it will take some time to figure out exactly what happened. As Greg had mentioned before, some of the information that you get, and Greg Merriweather is there on the scene.
And you can see former Chief LaDuff there with the sunglasses, and apparently he and Greg were just talking, and so they LG McNeely right there is about to talk. We want to send things back out there. Greg, what can you tell us? Are they ready to say anything more?
The latest update we got was that we will be getting an update shortly. So I can just add a few more details to this. If you could take Mix Minus out of the IFB so I could hear you better at the station. So when you go in the Mall of Louisiana, you go up those escalators, go into the food court. The shooting happened literally right there as soon as you go up there. Now, we have confirmed from a law enforcement source that they're not looking at this as an active shooter situation, but more of, as they call them, groups. Two groups of individuals obviously tried to settle some type of beef and either came upon each other or somehow ended up here at the Mall of Louisiana on that second floor and ended up shooting at each other. So we do know that for a fact. So not that changes the conditions of any of the victims or changes any of the heightened awareness that's going on out here or the alert or just the tragic factor of all of this. But we do know that at least it was not an active shooter, wasn't a random person going around the mall shooting at people. We have at least confirmed that right now it appears that it was two, as they described it, as groups of people obviously getting into some kind of altercation in here that led to this unfortunate and just sad gunfire. All right, we're going to send it back to you as we try to gather just a few more details, and we will work on some things out here, and we'll send it back to you.
All right, Greg Merriweather there giving us another update of what he's hearing on the ground directly from police as they continue to investigate this. And he made a good point, showing that at that entrance going to the food court, there is that escalator that goes up there. Also, there's that carousel that's up there, too. Food court always very busy. And so this picture here is right on Essen Lane where the hospitals are, outside of Our Lady of the Lake Hospital, where we were told that it has started accepting some of the patients who are some of the victims in this small shooting.
And from what we understand, it's at least 6 people and 2 people in critical condition. So we will learn more about the conditions of the victims relatively soon. As we get that information, we will give it to you. This is a shot back at the mall. You can see this scene continues to be very active. Lots of police officers, sheriff's deputies,
Was that
state
the mayor?
police.
I thought I saw the mayor, possibly the mayor and some of his staff who may have just was that in that group of people who walked past that police tape. I'm not sure if Greg can hear us, but I thought that's who I may have seen.
Okay. So we are waiting to hear from this person here, Elgene McNeely from the Baton Rouge Police Department, to update us on the state of the investigation, because one of the things that we are working to find out is, do they know who they're looking for? How many people are they looking for? And of course, an update on the victims who were taken to Our Lady of the Lake Hospital close by there.
Yeah, and we were told, and of course, as Greg mentioned, you know, these breaking news situations, they continue to develop, and so they change constantly as police begin to get information. You can see one of the helicopters that was up in the air, but we were told that one, possibly two shooters is who police are looking for. So once they are prepared to give us more information and have that news conference with an update, we of course will know who they're looking for and how many people they're looking for, and another possibly confirmation of the number of victims involved in this.
And of course, the situation thus far has been getting people out of the mall, getting the employees out of the mall, getting the customers out of the mall. Many of the people that we've seen being evacuated from the mall have been very shaken by what's happened today.
And you can see that in this video.
Yeah, the young man that we just saw a couple of minutes ago. But one thing that we're noticing as we go from our pre-recorded video to the live shots that we have, the live video, is that things are thinning out a little bit. The police presence is still there, but the customers that were shopping at the mall, the shoppers, and also the employees, we're seeing very few of them at this point. So it appears that they have successfully moved the people out of the way, to safety, you know, from out of the situation. Out in that area, the investigation is going to take some time. Yeah,
and it's going to be a wide area of where they're going to be focused on in their investigation. And earlier when we were talking to Greg, he had Darren, our photographer who was out there, he had him pan to show you more of the parking lot. And when we saw that, we saw so many police and emergency vehicles in that area too, which is so not common, you know, in this situation. Being at the mall on what is just a regular Thursday afternoon, and so you have this going on, and you have such a huge presence of law enforcement there trying to figure out this, and of course it's going to take them quite a while to do that.
Well, Elizabeth Vowell, she is here with us now. She has some statements in from state leaders, city leaders, a few people that have responded to this. Elizabeth?
Hey guys, yeah, so obviously this is a very intense situation and a fluid situation. We've got a crew, I was going to call in there from one of our reporters who is out at Our Lady of the Lake, keeping an eye on the situation there. So as we're reaching out now to various leaders in our area, we've got somebody checking in on our congressional leaders as well. We have heard from the governor, not a lot at this moment, as you can imagine, that this is a developing situation. So the statements and information we're going to get from officials right now is going to be kind of limited until they kind of get a better idea of exactly what's going on and what the current situation is. But earlier, as you can see on our screen here, this is a look at our website, WAFB.com. This is our top article with all the information. As we get new updates, we're going to be posting it here for viewers to check out. We do have a statement from the governor here. He said that I'm aware of the active shooter scene at the Mall of Louisiana. Now, as Greg mentioned, I just would like to point out that that is not considered an active situation anymore. I'm in coordination with law enforcement, and we will update as we know more. Please avoid the area. Sharon and I are praying for those affected and are grateful for the quick response by our law enforcement officials. We also heard from our Attorney General, Liz Murrill, who said that she had spoken to District Attorney Hiller Moore, who is actively monitoring the situation involving a weapon or weapons being discharged at the food court of the Mall of Louisiana. Multiple law enforcement agencies are responding. Please avoid the area if you can. More details will be available soon. So those are the officials that we've learned from right now. Obviously, the governor and the AG going to want to keep a close eye on this. Dion mentioned that he might have seen the mayor out on the scene. That certainly would not be surprising. He would want to check out the situation for himself. And I would imagine that the District Attorney Hiller Moore is there on the scene as well, checking things out. This is a live image now as we check in. Looks like our team has kind of moved back there, and you can see a very, very strong law enforcement presence there, which is very, very expected, certainly not unusual in a situation like this. And again, just to reiterate something that Greg mentioned was that the things are calm and in control right now. This is not considered an active shooter scene right now. It looks like things are very secure and very safe and in hand. It looks like we have some officers escorting some folks to their car. So that's a good sign of people being able to get out of the area. I actually spoke with a friend of mine who was having lunch at one of the restaurants nearby and was planning to go into the mall. And as she pulled up, the police kind of descended on that area and blocked everything off. And then she was there as they kind of blocked off Bluebonnet and blocked off that area. So again, folks, if you are out and about, or if you've got friends that are out in the area, tell them to kind of avoid the Mall of Louisiana area. This is one that's going to be very busy for quite a while, and it's just going to help if everybody stays away. I know if you have loved ones that are in that area, maybe working at the mall, I'm sure that you have a lot of concern right now, but it will be best if you just stay put and kind of wait for news and wait for details. As we've mentioned before, this does appear to be kind of a calm situation now, so in order to continue that, it's best to just let officials kind of do their job. But again, we're going to continue to reach out to our officials, gather that information, and if we get any more updates from the governor's office or any other official, we will check back in with you guys. So, Tisha, Dion.
All right, Elizabeth Vowell for us with those statements. Thank you. Also want to give you an update that we're being told that there is a reunification area at the AMC Theater, which is just off the main mall property. And again, we're showing you another one of those helicopters in the air searching for the suspect or suspects in the area. But again, the AMC Theater is the reunification area. And as far as we know, that's the current plan. Of course, if that changes, we will, of course, update that for you as well. So a lot of people who may have been separated by their families, and that's where they're going to meet right now.
Which I'm sure is a really stressful situation for, families who might have been out there who did get separated. The AMC Theater is over on the side of the mall where, not far from the Nordstrom Rack and that Mall of Louisiana.
Where Dick's Sporting Goods used to be. Over there. So if you're, needing to head in that direction because you know somebody that was going to the mall and you need to go and find them, and maybe they were able to walk over to the theater from the mall, not able to get in the car, you want to go over there to AMC Theater. But that entire area right now, police are just asking that you steer clear of that because they are responding to this shooting situation. They are looking for 1 to 2 suspects. We're still seeing the helicopters in the air and lots of law enforcement out there. On my way over here on I-10, I saw just one unit, another unit, 3 more units. Then I saw the helicopter in the air, and I immediately called in to figure out, what was going on. Because as you can see, that there are more units in that mall parking lot than we've ever seen before. And so this is a live picture just outside. Oh, we just lost it. But that was right outside Our Lady of the Lake Hospital, where we were told that that hospital was accepting patients from the shooting at the mall, which is on Essen Lane, just one exit over from the mall on Bluebonnet. So the silver lining, if there is even such thing, is that there's a close proximity for those people to get that emergency care. And so there's that picture again, the live picture there, where you can see what looked like an emergency vehicle just turning into that. And there you go, there it is. There's an ambulance there, followed by another BRPD car. And that's the entrance to the emergency room. So obviously someone in that ambulance getting that emergency care that they need right now.
Yeah, our photojournalist Rick Porche had mentioned to us earlier when he was on the back side of the mall by the JCPenney that he saw 4 ambulances leave at that time, and there were 3 more waiting. So apparently as people are assessed at the mall, they are being taken to the hospital there, to Our Lady of the Lake, which is, one exit away from the hospital. So there are ambulances there still waiting, and we're still seeing a lot of movement with people who may need care.
Yeah, and another ambulance there. And so that's the thing with these situations, especially when we're in a breaking news situation where the information continues to come in. the things change and you see that, and there's another ambulance going through traffic, or was that a tape turn? I'm not sure, but that was an ambulance there trying to get the patient to the hospital as quickly as possible so they can get that care that they need. Because of that, how close, as we keep mentioning, how close the hospital is to the mall.
Mm-hmm. And that's one situation, hopefully, will be beneficial to people who need that emergency care at Our Lady of the Lake. You're looking at a live scene now of the mall where multiple people have been shot near the food court. We're hearing from our state leaders, from our city leaders about this. And we have our Perry Robinson now on the scene to give us more details and his perspective. He is at actually Our Lady of the Lake. Perry?
Hey guys, again, Perry Robinson here reporting live for WAFB. We are standing right outside Our Lady of the Lake Hospital, and as many of you all do know, this is one of the largest trauma care units here in the state. And just about within the last hour, we have seen multiple ambulances pulling into this this hospital. Again, details still trying to come in at this time. Again, multiple people injured in that shooting at the Mall of Louisiana. And again, these are some of the best people here in the state that are going to try to provide the best care possible to those people that were injured in this shooting. Now, we will continue to be out here, continue to monitor the situation, continue to report to you all what exactly that we see. But again, multiple ambulances over the past hour pulling into this hospital, again, transporting those people that were injured at the shooting at the Mall of Louisiana. For now, reporting outside Our Lady of the Lake Hospital, Perry Robinson, WAFB 9 News.
Perry, I don't know if you can hear me. This is Dion. I know when we were told that the hospital was accepting patients from the mall shooting, that they were getting a police escort. Is that what you saw when they were pulling up there?
Yeah, we did see several police officers that were pulling into along with those ambulances. So yes, that is correct. A lot of police activity. There are still quite a few BRPD officers that are out here in the parking lot of the hospital. So yes, that is correct. And again, several ambulances been pulling in and out of here for the past hour.
All right, Perry Robinson there for us outside of Our Lady of the Lake Hospital. Perry, we'll check to you for a second. Now we've got Police Chief T.J. Morris speaking now. Let's go to that.
Hey, Dion, this is Liam. We are waiting for, it looks like, Mayor President Sid Edwards and Chief T.J. Morris walking over to us right now. We're going to get some more information, so stay tuned on that.
The police chief and the mayor headed to speak with us at this moment so we can find out more of what happened with this situation at the mall. They wanted us to reiterate that this was between two groups of people at the mall. The shooting happened near the food court. Let's listen in.
Okay, ready? All right. We're hearing just one shooter or multiple. What can you tell us at this point?
So right about 1:22 this afternoon, we got reports of shots fired here at the mall in the courtyard, the food courtyard area. We had a massive law enforcement and medical response come. Thanks to all our responding agencies, everybody from the Sheriff's Office, the St. George, State Police, and even FBI came to help to respond to this. We got here very quickly, secured the scene. No more active shooting going on. We started treating victims until EMS got here. EMS got here very quickly and were able to transport victims away from the scene within minutes. What we found out looking through surveillance videos, it looks like it was kind of a targeted, two groups of people got into an argument inside the food court and started shooting at each other. Unfortunately, there were some innocent people that were in the area that might have also caused some rounds. Right now, we have 10 victims at local area hospitals, some transported by EMS and some arriving by private vehicle. Definitely our hearts and prayers go out to all the victims involved in this, various level of injuries, and we're going to keep giving y'all updates as we get them.
How many critical injuries?
Right now, we don't know. We have, at least a couple of them that are in trauma going through surgery, so we don't have an exact number right now. We'll give you those numbers as soon as they become available.
Parking lot's still full of vehicles. Are you still working to get customers, people who were in the mall at the time, out of the mall?
Yeah, so as we get some resources kind of freed up, we're still, going through the mall, making sure we don't have people that lock down and hide and make sure that they're safe and okay. And we're going to start trying to just evacuate the whole area. We had a big crime scene set up in case suspects were on feet in the area, looking in canals. We got helicopters, drones, all those kind of resources. So we had everything locked down, not wanting anybody to leave, but we're going to start opening that up as soon as we can.
Are you guys... any idea how many weapons that were used? You said shooting at each other.
Yeah, we don't know right now. We're looking through all the surveillance video and coming through crime scenes processing, looking at shell casings that were on the scene. Anybody that has any help, please plead out to the community right now. If you know anything, please call Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous, 344-STOP. If you have any information that you can give us.
Do you believe there's any threat to the public at all?
No, right now, there is no known threat to the public. Right here is the safest place in Baton Rouge, in this area. But as we start developing suspects, we're going to run down every single lead that we can to get these people in custody. But it does not appear to be just a random act of violence, but a very targeted kind of disagreement between two groups of people.
How many people in those two groups?
Right now, I don't want to kind of release that information because it's really preliminary.
Do we know the age ranges of the victims at all?
No, not right now.
Just kind of really worried about what might be going on with Baton Rouge.
Yeah. So first thing is just keep these victims in your prayers, right? Second thing, just know that Baton Rouge Police Department and all these agencies out of here, EMS, fire department, everybody that responded, we are trained for this, right? Unfortunately, it's one of the part of the jobs that we train regularly on, responding to an active shooter scene like this. Hats on to all the law enforcement that came, stabled everybody, EMS that got here and quickly transported the victims to get the care they needed at the local area hospitals, and that we are going to control this. Mayor?
Like to say, number one, first and foremost, prayers for the victims and their families, above all else. I want to thank our public safety officials, all the law enforcement people out here. This is proof of how good they are and the response they had and what they're doing. And to the thugs who did this, we're going to catch you. Okay, we're not going to have this in Baton Rouge. It's not going to happen. And I have complete confidence in our law enforcement partners that we're going to go out and grab these guys and get them off the street. Thank you.
Mayor, if we may, look, we just had a major domestic mass shooting in Shreveport, made national news. Now we're looking at this. People that are scared, what do you say to them today?
Well, I think people at the end of the day have the right to be concerned, about it. And sometimes the devil lives everywhere. And this is one of those situations, no matter how much law enforcement you got or social programs or whatever, if someone gets in their mind that they're going to do something like this, they're going to do it. And then sometimes all we can do is respond. I just want the public to know that we got the finest, whether it's medical, law enforcement, all our agencies are the finest in the country to respond to these things.
No, that's it. Let me add one thing, please. Definitely thank you to all our agencies that are here offering all the resources that we need. Second thing, anybody in the community that has videos, cell phones are everywhere. So if you have cell phone video that you might be thinking interest, please reach out to us. We have links that we can send you where you can send us those cell phone videos anonymously, and you can remain anonymous and give us those cell phone videos. Thank you all very much, and we'll update y'all again as soon as we get more information.
Thank you all.
Chief, any fatalities at the scene you can say?
Not right now.
Not right now.
Not right now, no fatalities. Not right now that I can't speak.
Okay. Okay, so I don't know if we're still up here, but you heard him there. No fatalities reported at the scene, at least at this time. And again, we bumped up that victim number from 6 to 10. And they couldn't confirm how many are critically injured, but multiple are undergoing trauma surgery right now. So you heard all that, and we'll work to bring you more. Reporting live outside the Mall, Louisiana, Liam Combs, WFB 9 News.
Liam, have you had an opportunity to speak to any of the customers, workers out there on the scene? Have they been able to tell you what it was like inside the mall when shots rang out?
Yeah, Tisha. So you heard it there from the chief. One of those victims was unintended. So they just said two groups were shooting at each other, and multiple of those victims were unintended victims. The bullets flew, and other people were hit that were not intended to be hit. And I did talk to one woman outside, visibly distraught. I went up to her, and she said she's actually a caretaker for a patient with mental disabilities. They were there at the mall together, and he was shot. And so you just just can't even imagine what that situation's like. You go to the mall, you're sitting down having food at the food court, and then shots ring out like this. It's something that's going to sit with you, and obviously many people are here shaken today. You've seen the mayor shaken, you've seen the chief shaken. It is, and we just talked about it. We just had this mass shooting, domestic. It's a different situation, but in North Louisiana and Shreveport, and now we have this 10 victims shot. It shocks the conscious, and it's hard to put to words the emotions that are going around from everyone here today.
But I had a quick question for you. I know that we were told that.
Go ahead, Neil.
Was a unification area. Were you able to make it there to see what that looked like? And if you did, describe how that looked.
Yeah, so that's at AMC Theaters. We have actually not been able to make it there yet. It seems like, this blockade where we're at right now is pretty much the closest we're able to get. We did have another crew that was working to get over there, but it seems like the perimeter keeps on getting wider around the Mall, Louisiana. So we have not been able to get there yet, but we are working on that. If we do, we'll bring you live updates there.
Yeah, that makes sense, especially in a situation like this, because as they continue to investigate, their scene could grow larger, and so that seems to be the situation here.
One more thing before we let you go, Liam. They had talked about the police chief asking for video, asking for people to call Crime Stoppers. If you could elaborate a little bit about what it's like on the ground there as they continue to search for these suspects.
Absolutely, Tisha. I mean, we live in the digital age, right? Everyone is filming at all times. You have security camera footage. That's how they kind of found out a lot of this information. And so, from what I'm seeing on the ground here, it's just absolute mayhem. People were running out as we got here on the scene. They were still setting up the perimeter. It seems like when we just got here, those victims were being removed from the mall. And so it was just pandemonium. I mean, you can't even imagine being inside the mall, hearing those shots ring out and fearing for your life. You're waiting to come pick up your loved one from the mall, and they are inside. You don't know if they're okay or not. I've talked to multiple people in those situations. I talked to a guy who was meeting his wife here and trying to call her. There's horrible cell service right now. It's just absolute chaos, and you can't even again, it's hard to put into words the emotions. I'm just trying to stay logical and get all the facts I can, but talking to people today, it's just everyone's just trying to get home, get safe, and I guess we're going to deal with the emotions later. It's just a chaotic situation, and we're working to learn more.
Yeah, and most likely the reason why the cell service there is so shoddy or not the best is because probably everyone's trying to get on their phones to talk to their loved ones to let them know that they are okay. So that's the situation there.
All right, Liam Combs live for us at the Mall of Louisiana. We will check back with you again as the investigation continues. Liam, thank you.
One thing I wanted to share is that the FBI released a statement, and I'm going to just read this off my phone. It says the FBI is aware of and is responding to an incident at the Mall of Louisiana with our partners. We ask the public to stay away from the area at this time. That last sentence I read there, that's been the whole thing that everyone has been saying. If you don't need to be there, if you don't have a loved one there or whatever, stay away from the mall. Yeah,
what they need is for you to be able to be out of the way as they continue this investigation. And here's an update on what we know so far. If you're just tuning in, there was a shooting at the Mall of Louisiana near the food court. The police say between two separate groups of people. There are 10 victims, 2 that we know are in critical condition. And this is not an active shooter situation at the moment. People are safe there on the property as they escort more people off the property. We saw people being escorted, customers escorted off the property, and also the employees there. The police are searching for a shooter. 1 shooter, maybe 2. That has not been made clear, but they are using drones. They are searching canals. They are using helicopters, and they are there on the scene. And they are asking for anyone who might have been there, who might have some video of what happened. Or sometimes you don't even know that the video that you have is helpful to them, because they may be able to put the pieces of the puzzle together to figure out exactly who might have been in some video that you had that ended up in the shooting.
Yeah.
And Crime Stoppers, of course, you know that number, 344-STOP. We give it to you all the time. They don't need your name, just the information. But right now, they're reaching out to the public, to anyone that was in the mall at about 1:22 is when this all went down. So either slightly before 1:22 or after that. If you have any video, they're asking for that.
Yeah, and so they mentioned when the police chief, T.J. Moore, spoke just moments ago, he mentioned that there was a massive response out of this. And just moments ago, I read the statement from the FBI. We're also told that the ATF is involved in the investigation as well right now. So massive police presence, and we talked about it before. We've seen Baton Rouge Police, the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office, apparently St. George Fire is there because that is in their area of coverage. We've seen state police, so we know the FBI and ATF. So lots of agencies there trying to work together in this massive investigation, try to figure things out.
Yes, when there are guns involved, the ATF gets involved to find out where those guns came from. How did they get in the people's hands to commit these crimes? Multiple people in surgery right now at Our Lady of the Lake. Our Perry Robinson is there now, keeping up with things going on. He's seen, you know, multiple ambulances going to the hospital with police escorts. Is Perry ready to speak with us?
I don't think he's ready yet, but we do want to turn around. When the police chief spoke just moments ago, he explained who is possibly involved in this. Let's listen to that.
We found out looking through surveillance videos, it looks like it was kind of a targeted, two groups of people got into an argument inside the food court and started shooting at each other. Unfortunately, there were some innocent people that were in the area that might have also caused some rounds.
And again, so we want to just recap that no fatalities in this, no deaths in this, 10 victims in this shooting in the mall. We were told that some were taken to the hospital by EMS. The police chief said others were taken by private vehicle, but no one has died in this, and right now they are still looking for the shooters in this situation.
We don't know right now. We're looking through all the surveillance video and coming through crime scenes processing, looking at shell casings that were on the scene. Anybody that has any help, please plead out to the community right now. If you know anything, please call Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous, 344-STOP, if you have any information that you can give us.
And of course, there's a huge police presence there on the scene, using multiple agencies and different tactics to try to find these shooters. They mentioned some of the ways that they were trying to get the shooters into custody. Let's listen in.
We get some resources kind of freed up. We're still, you know, going through the mall, making sure we don't have people that lock down and hide, and make sure that they're safe and okay. And we're going to start trying to just evacuate the whole area. We had a big crime scene set up in case the suspects were on feet in the area, looking in canals. We got helicopters, drones, all those kind of resources. So we had everything locked down, not wanting anybody to leave, but we're going to start opening that up as soon as we can.
All right, you heard from the chief again. So we want to go back to our Perry Robinson, who is live outside of Our Lady of the Lake Hospital. Perry, what have you learned since the last time we talked to you?
Hey, Dion, now just within the past 10 minutes, I actually spoke to a representative from Our Lady of the Lake, and she told me that the hospital will be sending out a statement as far as updates just within, hopefully within the next few minutes. Now, between the last time that I came on air, which was about maybe 10 minutes ago, we did see additional ambulances, more police units pulling into this hospital. Now, again, we should be hearing more from Our Lady of the Lake and any other information that they want to share with us as far as how the victims are doing and how those that are in critical condition are doing. So right now, it's just kind of like a waiting game, just trying to hear more, trying to remain patient. And, you know, once we get that information, we will be sure to pass it along to you all as soon as we hear it. For now, reporting outside Our Lady of the Lake, Perry Robinson, WAFB 9 News.
Perry, before we let you go, I know you mentioned you saw additional ambulances come since the last time we talked to you. Can you give us a total number that you've seen so far?
I mean, honestly, you kind of lose count, right? So by the time that I made it out here compared to when our photographer, Scott Pace, was out here, it's kind of hard to keep track. I would say at least well over maybe five, a few more than that. But just between the past few minutes that we've seen probably about 2 within the last time that we came on air, and probably just as many police units within that time too as well.
Yeah. All right, Perry Robinson for us outside Our Lady of the Lake Hospital. Perry, we'll check with you as we continue our coverage here. So the other thing here, back to this live picture outside the mall, you can still see police out there working to try to figure out this situation. You know, it's continues to change, because before we were told there were 6 victims, but now that number's up to 10. No deaths in this. That's what we want to reiterate. No one has died in this, but 10 people have been taken to hospitals either by ambulance or by private vehicle. And again, the shooting started among an argument between 2 different groups of people. This was not something random. The police chief, T.J. Moore's, telling us moments ago that this seemed to be a targeted shooting.
Okay. You keep mentioning no fatalities, and that is a great thing. And I think part of the reason why is Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center that is close by on Essen. Yeah. Level 1 trauma center. It was upgraded in 2022 to handle trauma like this. Trauma surgeons on hand and available, ready to assess any situation. So I think that may
play a big role.
Play
in
a
this.
role.
Yeah.
You know, we have a new statement that we want to release. Can we see who that may be from? All right. Okay. Well, right now, let's just kind of reiterate a little bit what we're dealing with. 10 victims at the shooting at the Mall of Louisiana. We were told by BRPD in a press conference just a couple of minutes ago that this was 2 separate groups that apparently got into some sort of altercation at the mall near the escalator near the food court, and that's when the shots rang out.
Yeah, and that the food court, the many times I've been to the mall where sometimes the stores may not be so full, the food court is always full of people. And so that is always the situation. Okay, here we go. This is the statement we were waiting for, but we want to reiterate this, that the FBI says that it is aware of and is responding to an incident at the Mall of Louisiana with our partners. We ask the public to stay away from the area at this time. Again, that last sentence, like I mentioned before, that has been the common thread here from all the statements we've gotten from people from the governor, from the AG, the mayor. Also, we have a statement from Senator Bill Cassidy.
Yes, he says, I'm closely tracking the reports of a shooting coming from the Mall of Louisiana. I am hoping for the full recovery of everyone that was injured. Thank you to the Baton Rouge Police Department, along with all responding agencies in their swift action. And swift action was something that, you know, we're hearing about over and over again. Just on my way in on I-10, I could see the rapid response, just one patrol car after another, just flying down the interstate, trying to make it. The helicopters in the air, an armored vehicle that we saw coming down the interstate as well, and just looking at the parking lot and the flood of units there from different agencies, and all agency response is something that we don't see often. But I think this is one of those situations where we had multiple victims and we were still trying to figure out exactly what was going on. So they were able to respond very quickly, and the police chief said that they were able to get people to the hospital within minutes. So when they found out that people were shot, ambulances were dispatched. Those people were able to make it to the hospital quickly, to the Level 1 Trauma Center at Our Lady of the Lake, one exit over. Our photojournalist Rick Porche said that he saw 4 of them leaving while he was there, with a number of them still waiting for other victims. And it was a process of triaging it on the scene, getting the most critical victims off the property as quickly as possible and getting them to the hospital. And then, you know, they found other people who also needed, you know, some assistance, and they came to the hospital. Our Perry Robinson is standing by at the hospital, keeping an eye on things there. We have people who are in surgery, but the one good thing that we are hearing is that there are no fatalities in all of this. And some people were just innocent bystanders, customers at the mall, people who worked there, who ended up getting caught up in a lot of this. Liam talked to a family where a caregiver, you know, described what she saw. She was there with someone in the mall who had disabilities, and it's hard to imagine what it was like to be there during all of this. It was just after lunch. That is one of the most crowded times in that area, in the mall, especially at the food court. People are getting something to eat. So some people just kind of step into the mall to get lunch. Even if they're not going to do any shopping, they may have gone in for that. And a lot of people caught up in this that we saw leaving the mall quite frazzled, quite shocked.
Yeah. We have Mike Edmondson on the phone right now, who was with state police. Mike, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, thank you for joining us on these unfortunate circumstances. But I want to ask you a question. Where do things move from here?
Well, I think I was able to hear the Chief Morrison, the mayor, talk just a few minutes ago, and I was glad that, number one, they got on the scene that quickly and were putting the information out, because the public is scared. They worry about stuff like that, and they have the right to know. I've always felt that the public has a right to know what's going on. And in a situation like this, they want to hear, do they need to shelter in place? Do they need to, what do they need to do? And I think that getting that information out as quickly as the police has done, and the leadership of the Baton Rouge Police Department, outstanding. The Sheriff's Office, our surrounding Sheriff's Office, Louisiana State Police, our federal partners. This is not something they're doing for the first time. We've been working together for many, many years, and I think that's a plus that you have in and around the Baton Rouge area, that you have everybody working there that trains for that. This is where we simply let law enforcement do their job. They know what they're doing. It's good to get the information out. It looks like it was two different groups that were in that area. It wasn't an active shooter just going to the mall, shooting at everyone. It was actually two groups. They got into some type of argument, and shots were fired, talking to people at the scene there that heard the gunshots. She said it sounded like a semi-automatic weapon or something like that. That in and of itself is, any gunshot is something that scares the public. So I think let's let law enforcement do what they're trained to do. They're on the scene. They have the information. They're following up, and they're going to put it out as quickly as possible. There's other stuff that goes on. But I think getting out in front of it like the chief and the mayor did, I think that speaks volumes to the support of the public to allow them to do the job and get things done. I know the hospital is kind of chaotic right now with the 10 people that are there and others that have shown up. So just a scary situation. We had the shooting in Shreveport. We've had some shots fired last couple of days here in Baton Rouge, and I know it's concerning. It's concerning to me as former law enforcement. I'm over 40 years in law enforcement, 37 with Louisiana State Police, and blessed to be superintendent for almost 10 years. So I'm very much a fan of when police are working together, and you see that now. You saw how quickly they got to the scene, how quickly they got people out of the mall, how quickly they're canvassing the mall, looking at every little place. It's someone that for whatever reason maybe is hiding somewhere or scared and not to come out. And so they're taking their time to go through that and do that. And I think that just tells us how prepared Baton Rouge Police and state police and sheriff's officers are responding to active shooters. And that's what we want. As a citizen, I'm a citizen too, we want to see those types of things that happen. We want that information to get out. And we want people to have at least whatever calming effect that we can give them. I think as quickly as you can do that, that's a positive thing.
And Mike, is there anything specific to gun violence when it comes to investigating this specific type of crime? What is the next step when there's a shooting inside of a public place?
Well, I think, number one, they're going to have to account for as many gun shots as they can find in that area. Their primary emphasis right at the beginning is helping whoever's been injured. I mean, that's vitally important, getting them medical care, getting those in there. But at the same time, making sure your threat is no longer a threat. And I think that when it seemed like here two groups got in an argument, they sort of fired upon each other. So knowing that it was not a single person, a single group that just targeted an area where there's a lot of public, I think that's that kind of a calming effect right there. I think at this point they'll start interviewing as many people as possible. You heard the mayor and the police chief asked to reach out to Crime Stoppers and to any law enforcement agencies with any information you might have, anything that you see, anybody that was in the area, they can certainly call and get the information. There's cameras all over the mall. I'm sure they'll take the time to look at those cameras, assess them to see what type of evidence or what kind of information they can get from. You've got a great group of intelligence sections within city police, the sheriff's office, and state police at the fusion center. They can put all that information together and compile it so that investigators can look at it to kind of get a determination of, okay, we have an idea who did this, we have an idea of what group this is. Let's go start talking to as many people we can. Let's find the gun, let's find the shooters, and let's get them off the street as quickly as possible. And that's what I see happening.
Yeah. Mike, I know you mentioned about the cameras and everything. My question to you, for your decades of experience in law enforcement, how important is technology in helping with this?
Well, technology is incredibly important because it gives you options. It gives you things you can look at. It gives you kind of that timeline of your investigation. You've got to go to the shooting itself and then start backing up. Find out cameras in there and back up to where you can pinpoint a group coming into the mall. You can pinpoint a group that was in that food court area where the shots were fired. You can start looking for signs. Was somebody armed at that time? Did they go specific area? They can pretty much follow them, and then whatever phones that people have that may have been videotaping anything, that people are leaving the mall, those are all vitally important because they might be able to identify one of the people within that group that possibly had the gun that they can kind of follow up on. So I think the technology that exists today is tremendous. It's helpful, and it's helpful when you can get it into the right people's hands. And I think that's what they're imploring the public to do, is if they have any information. They gave the number of Crime Stoppers an excellent place to call and give the information where they can get it to the right person or persons, and they can follow up on it. They can, make the phone calls, do the investigation, do the interviewing, because there's going to be a lot of the information of trying to talk to everybody was in that mall, in that area, what they saw, what they did. Did they know anybody? Is there names involved? Places that the police can immediately follow up, whether it's someone's home, whether it's someone's business, or just looking for particular cars that's in the street. And again, that's where your technology is going to come into play to be able to compile that information, utilize what they can, but as rapidly and as safely, because police officers going into the scene. I mean, that's I've had the chance to be in front of presidents and world leaders, and especially around our country, and to talk about things that are going on, things that's happening, and they have that training. And police officers, I mean, you can say what you want, but 99.9% of the time, they get it right. They get it right, especially in situations like this, because they've trained for it. They know what to look for. They're confident in going into it. They're trained to look all around the perimeter. They're all trained to look what's in their area, what are they looking at, what are they watching for, which is like them running into a situation where you have that. Same thing with our firemen running into a home that's on fire. They've trained, they know what to look for, and I think that's the confidence that we as the public can give them by supporting them and allowing them to do their job. And if we have information, not something we heard third party, but something we actually can, prove or give evidence for, that's the kind of stuff that they need that will help them in the investigation. But I'm just telling you, as a citizen, and I live right in the middle of Baton Rouge off of College and Perkins, so I hear the sirens, I hear the people, and so it's something to expect that the public can become alarmed, can be very concerned, can be scared, especially our elderly population. And again, y'all being on this immediately on the air, the police chief coming out with the mayor and his support, and the sheriff's office, the state police, and saying what's going on, saying that everyone's working together. That alone speaks volumes that we're doing the right thing to try to mitigate this as quickly as possible.
Yeah, Mike, I got one.
Prayers, everything is out to the victims. I know that's a difficult situation for families, but I think as quickly as we can get answers, then I think it shows the people that want to do harm, that want to do these things, that they're going to be dealt with very, very quickly.
Yeah. Mike, just really quickly, one last question for you. We saw at least one K-9 on the scene. How does the K-9 unit help in this investigation as well?
Well, I think it depends, number one, if that K-9 is trained maybe to look for bullets, to look for ammo, to smell that smell coming from that situation where a gun has been fired. If they're looking for someone particularly, if they get something to the dog where they've got a smell or something like that. But it also allows them to, if they're trained to look in places where there might be people, they can alert on, they can alert on drugs, they can alert on different things, but if they can alert on there's somebody in this area here, then that gives the police, you know, it's kind of like extra eyes and ears. The public gives extra eyes and ears to the police. Well, these dogs are trained to look for specific things, so having them there, it just gives them that additional capability, tools in your toolbox. It gives those police officers an additional tool. They can use dogs can get into areas that humans can't get into, that people can't go into. They can send a dog in. So that's the kind of thing that they do in situations like this, where they can, might be a room or a corridor or something that they don't want to go down, or they can send a dog down it and get as much information. So that's where dogs have been, especially in my lifetime, incredibly helpful in situations like that.
All right. Mike Edmondson, former head of state police, thank you for your insight and all your experience in giving us a little more to understand the situation with the investigation.
Thank you. Well, right now, in studio with us, we have longtime WAFB photojournalist Rick Porche, and you said some things on scene that you had never seen anything like this in all of your years.
I've never seen this big a police presence at a crime scene anywhere that I've covered in the last 36, 37 years as a photojournalist.
Hold on.
Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
live television, folks. This is how it goes. But hey, it's all right. We're going to get you so we can really get the grasp of what we can hear you now. But we really want to know what it was like for you on the ground, how it looked.
Again, like I said, in the 37 years I've been doing this, I have never seen this big a police presence at a scene anywhere. I got there fairly quickly. And police were arriving from all directions. I'm talking sheriff's department. I almost hit a sheriff's vehicle almost hit me when I was pulling in. Police, state police, we had helicopters in the air. It was just blanketed. Every entrance, every aisle on the parking lot, they were everywhere. I got around to the backside near Dillard's and the food court entrance and kind of set up there and started watching, and I saw, I think, 5 total ambulances leaving, lights and sirens, police escorts, the whole bit. They were getting folks out of there quickly. After that kind of calmed down a little bit, you would see customers or workers from the mall leaving in sets of 6 or 7. I would imagine they were having to be cleared by law enforcement before they left. As big a presence as it was, it seemed organized. It seemed like, you know, everybody had their place and what they were doing. You know, a lot of times these scenes are really chaotic, but I didn't really feel a whole lot of that from the sheriff's deputies who are around my location.
And then we continue to see this video of this group of young women there, and there's a guy in the yellow shirt who are just obviously distraught. Is that the sense that you got while you were there? You were seeing people who were either in tears or just trying to grasp what had just happened while they were around? I think
shock and relief is more of what I saw. I tried to talk to a few folks coming out. They didn't want any part of it. They were, you know, they were dealing with a lot at that point. I did see what appeared to be a mother and maybe a child, 4 years old or so, walking out. The child looked to be really upset. Mom trying to, you know, console the child and get her into her vehicle. There was an older woman I saw talking to sheriff's deputies there that was also seemed to be pretty distraught. But most people, as they were walking out, I think they had a sense of, okay, this is over.
Yeah.
We made it through. We're safe. The police are here. The scene's done, and I just want to get home and get to my family or get to my loved ones or something like that, because there wasn't a big, they weren't really emotional. It was just this distraught, this relief on their faces when they were leaving.
Grateful for that quick response from all of those agencies that responded.
Yeah, and I know the other thing we kept seeing out there through our various live shots, that the scene constantly grew as they continued their investigation. Is that something you saw, and how far back from particular areas of the mall were you set?
You know the road that rings around the mall?
Yeah.
I was kind of at that intersection there where it goes back toward the food court, but I did kind of drive around looking for a place that I could pull my vehicle and try not to be seen or be too conspicuous. But when I got there, there was a big presence right near the food court. And then as you pulled back, there were, like as I said, police ringing everything. By the time I left, it looked like Bluebonnet was shut down, probably, and I couldn't tell much further past that because I just came in straight here.
Right, the main corridor being Bluebonnet.
So they pretty much established a perimeter right away to stop people from going in.
Yeah, I got there within probably 10 minutes of the incident happening, and there was already a heavy police presence on that road that rings around the mall. And as I said, there were police units blocking every entrance, every road into the mall. They were blocking that. They had the place pretty tight, locked down at that point.
Yeah, which comes with the territory when you have a situation like this, where they want to try to stabilize as much as possible in order so they can get people to safety, one, and then two, start their investigation. And so you can see our pictures here, the ambulance in that picture, getting people to the hospital to get that emergency care that they need.
All right, Rick Porche, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us.
All right, so now we want to get out to our Greg Merriweather, who is live there on the scene at the mall. Greg, what new information have you been able to gather?
So right now it appears that they're winding things down, at least as far as securing this scene. Everything is secure, as we can tell. I saw the sheriff of East Baton Rouge Parish show up here as well. So you've got a huge set of law enforcement presence still out here, of course, and a lot of folks inside just trying to see where they can go from here. We've talked to a few witnesses. Some of that we're trying to get back to you guys now. It's everyone out here is on their cell phone, so cell phone service is very difficult. Nothing has changed as far as numbers. We're still hovering around that 10 people shot. At one point, 2 people were in very critical condition. We do know that one of the victims was in surgery just a few moments ago. I can tell you that they've gotten most of the people that work in the mall out. They took them out by, it almost seems like they were going out by stores. We saw at one point all the Cane's employees go out together. They would have been pretty close to where most of this happened, with it being on the second floor of the mall there with the food court. So you've got Cane's up there. I think Dos Bros is like a Mexican restaurant, the Chick-fil-A, all those different restaurants around there. We've seen the employees kind of come and go. If you're out here listening and maybe one of your young people or somebody you know works at the mall and you'd like to get in touch with them, they did take a lot of the employees that maybe couldn't get their cars out over to the theater, which is across the street from here, to kind of reunite people with their families. We did talk with one witness. I've got Liam Combs standing here with me. We talked with one witness, Liam. She was kind of describing, of course it was right in the moment of everything, but she was describing what she saw. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Greg, so this was a mall worker, and she was working the carousel inside. She said she heard fireworks, thought that was okay, just kids working around, playing around with fireworks. Come to find out, turns around, there's a gun, and she's seen the gun shoot off, and she's seeing this guy turn around like this, shooting in a 360 motion like that. It just seemed indiscriminate in her eyes. She's very shaken up right now. Our colleague Ethan Tuttle, he interviewed her, and I actually have that right here, so we'll be feeding that back. But obviously just a very, very shaken up woman, and thank God she's okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of schools in session, but there's a lot of school groups that come out here on field trips to the Blue Zoo, so it's a very popular thing. So a lot of people out there are watching this and very concerned just about the safety of things around here. And, you've got just a Thursday afternoon, 1:30 in the afternoon. This mall is still a busy place with a lot of people just out and about doing their things, and then you've got somebody in there shooting indiscriminately, as Liam described, just turning around, firing everywhere. So obviously that leads to why we've got at least 10 victims in this. So I just want to give you one more kind of look at what's going on out here. If you can see. I don't know if you've been with us throughout the evening or throughout the afternoon. You've noticed that some of the law enforcement presence is not as active as it is. They still do have the helicopter in the area. They were checking one of the creek that runs by here with the trail that goes down through there. We saw some dogs going down and around just to try to see if they can maybe pick up on any type of sorry, we had a camera go down over here. See if they could pick up any type of scent of any suspect or anything. The one thing I can tell you is that the helicopter is still near here, so I don't know if it's anywhere, if that still means that they're actively looking for someone in the area. We did not get that indication, though, from the chief. So we'll send it back to you guys and continue to follow this and try to get some of this information back to you.
All right, Greg Merriweather for us live at the mall. While we wait for our next live picture, because we want to continue to update you, you can still see that helicopter in the air there. Our Lady of the Lake Hospital sent us a statement saying, as we continue to serve the needs of our community in the wake of this tragedy, we ask that all family members report to the main entrance of Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical. Please be advised that Our Lady of the Lake and Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital are on secured access. We are asking that visitors and guests refrain from visiting our facility at this time. Our emergency rooms will remain open at this time. Additional updates will be provided as the situation evolves, but that's the statement from Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center on the situation there, asking people if you have a family member who may be at the hospital for nothing related to this, to not go there at this time as they deal with this emergency situation. And
we know that there were some traumatic injuries that resulted in people having to have surgery. We know 10 victims in all, and 2 of them were considered critical, but they were taken immediately to the hospital where some people did require surgery for these gunshot wounds that they received at the mall.
Yeah, so let's kind of just do a little reset.
Yes.
To kind of bring everybody, if you're just joining us or if you kind of joined in the middle, the numbers have kept changing, but the last few minutes, the number that has stayed the same right now since the chief has given us an update is that there are 10 people shot, no deaths in this. 10 people shot, all of them taken to the hospital either by EMS or by a private vehicle, and BRPD Chief TJ Morris telling us that this situation is not an active shooter situation, that apparently this was some beef between 2 groups of people. There was some sort of argument apparently, and shots just started ringing out. They are still searching for the shooter or shooters in this situation, so that's why we have seen helicopters still remain in the area. And again, that number for Crime Stoppers, if you have any video, if you know anyone who may have video, doesn't matter what time, if you don't think you were there around that shooting, still that video can still help them get to the bottom of this.
Well, a lot of people were escorted out of the mall, whether they were employees or customers. Some people had to leave their cars there in the mall parking lot, and they established a reunification center at the AMC theaters. That's where our Ethan Tuttle is standing by with the latest on what's happening there. Ethan?
Yeah, thanks, guys. We're just right outside the AMC Theater here, chopper flying right above us right now. I'm here with Signe Dreyer. She's the carousel operator at the Mall of Louisiana. Signe, go ahead and just walk me through what you saw.
Well, I was cleaning the carousel. I had my back turned to where this happened inside the food court. I heard a loud bang and then another bang. At first, I thought somebody was shooting fireworks in the food court. I turned around, and I see people dropping to the ground, and I immediately saw the gun. And I didn't get focused on the guy. It was the gun I focused in on, and I saw the fire coming out of the gun and multiple shots. And I saw him turning in circles and just shooting randomly at anybody by him. And then I got down on the ground. I had a radio to where I could call security, and I was screaming on the radio, shots fired in the food court, shots fired, multiple people hit. And things got kind of blurry. Everything was happening so fast. Next thing I know, cops came, and I felt like it was safe enough for me to stand back up, and I started going around checking on the victims. Some were more serious than others. I tried to get some cleaning rags to put on some of the wounds until paramedics made their way up in there. Encouraged them that everything was going to be okay, and they were crying and screaming, and I tried my best to calm them down. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I've been here for almost 4 years, and I see a lot of stuff in the mall, but nothing like this at all. You see stuff on this, like this on TV, But when it happens in real life right in front of you, it's unexplainable, absolutely unexplainable.
I know we talked a moment ago. Walk me through what it was like while you were helping out the wounded, trying to do everything you could to just lend a hand and make sure that that transition process to getting them over to the hospital was as easy and as quick as possible.
I mean, I didn't do a whole lot. I felt like I could have done more, but, you know, I felt like also I was just getting in the way because paramedics were making their way in. So once they got in there, I kind of backed off some and let them do their thing. But until they got there, I just went around and checked on everybody and tried to comfort some of them who were crying and getting hysterical the best that I could. I don't know how much help I was, but I did what I could.
Ma'am, I think it's safe to say you were a great help today. Thank God that you were in that mall and able to help the people that you were able to help. Guys, here with Signe Dreyer, Ethan Tuttle out here outside the AMC Theater. Let's go ahead and go back to you.
All right, Ethan, can you hear me? This is Dion. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I've got you, Dion.
Can you ask her, did she see one gun or did she see more than one? I know it was a chaotic situation and a scary situation. She's trying to get to safety, but did she see more than one?
Signe, did you see more than one gun or was it just one weapon?
I only saw one gun, but there was so much commotion. I don't know if there was multiple guns involved or multiple people. I just saw that one gun and him just randomly shooting, and that's all I can remember.
And what were you told while you were walking out of the mall itself, while you were being escorted out?
Nobody. Well, I had to stay behind because I was a partial witness. So some cops came and talked to me, and then they dismissed me. They said I can go ahead and leave, and I just walked out. And now I'm waiting on a ride, which they can't even make it here now. I'm going to have to walk to the other side now. But, yeah, my phone's blowing up. But
we'll let you take care of that. Thank you so much, ma'am. I appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless you. All right, guys, let's go ahead and go back to you.
All right, Ethan Tuttle. That might be a family member calling her to just know that she is safe. Ethan Tuttle at the AMC right outside the mall, Louisiana. Thank you for that.
And we've had our crews on the scene for a while now, and we were able to speak with a few victims out there. Let's hear what another one of the witnesses has to say about what happened and what they saw.
I just saw a big group of people, and they all ran, and there was bullets flying everywhere. That's really all I saw.
So another person who's, says they witnessed it and saw the bullets coming out. You heard the carousel operator that Ethan was just talking to. She said she saw the fire come out of the gun and said the shooter was just going in a circle, just firing at random. Another live picture here outside the mall at that area where it's closest to the entrance that is near the food court where police say this shooting happened. And just to, reiterate and reflect on what the carousel operator said to our Ethan Tuttle, this is where children are. Yeah. This is the carousel operator. And she, instead of running the carousel for children, ended up rendering aid to people who had bullet wounds and who were wounded in a shooting. And she said she got rags to help those people. Yeah, and that is just something that it is hard to imagine, and to wrap your head around. But she was the one who radioed security saying, and I remember her, shots fired in the food court, shots fired in the food court, multiple people hit. She called that in, and that probably had a lot to do with how quickly all of this was able to be responded to. Yeah, and the thing about that quickly that you mentioned, again, 10 people have been hit, but there have been no deaths in this, and because of that quick response, that most likely played a role in no fatalities in this terrible situation. Of course, police agencies still on the scene, a lot of tapes still up, that area, the perimeter still established, because
We had, talked to investigators before, or at least heard what they had to say during the press conference. And this is going to take a while. There's a lot that they are looking for, having to go through all of the security footage, having to find bullet casings, having to talk to all of the witnesses. And they spoke about all of this a little bit earlier. Let's listen into it now.
So right about 1:22 this afternoon, we got reports of shots fired here at the mall in the courtyard, the food courtyard area. We had a massive law enforcement and medical response come, thanks to all our responding agencies, everybody from the Sheriff's Office, the St. George, State Police, and even FBI came to help to respond to this. We got here very quickly, secured the scene, no more active shooting going on. We started treating victims until EMS got here. EMS got here very quickly and were able to transport victims away from the scene within minutes. What we found out looking through surveillance videos, it looks like it was kind of a targeted, two groups of people got into an argument inside the food court and started shooting at each other. Unfortunately, there were some innocent people that were in the area that might have also caused some rounds. Right now, we have 10 victims at local area hospitals, some transported by EMS and some arriving by private vehicle. Definitely, our hearts and prayers go out to all the victims involved in this, various level of injuries, and we're going to keep giving y'all updates as we get them.
How many critical, Chief?
Right now, we don't know. We have, at least a couple of them that are in trauma going through surgery, so we don't have an exact number right now. We'll give you those numbers as soon as they become available.
Parking lot's still full of vehicles. Are you still working to get customers, people who were in the mall at the time, out of the mall?
Yeah, so as we get some resources kind of freed up, we're still, going through the mall, making sure we don't have people that lock down and hide and make sure that they're safe and okay. And we're going to start trying to just evacuate the whole area. We had a big crime scene set up in case the suspects were on feet in the area, looking in canals. We got helicopter, drones, all those kind of resources. So we had everything locked down, not wanting anybody to leave, but we're going to start opening that up as soon as we can.
Are you guys?
Any idea how many weapons that were used? You said shooting at each other.
Yeah, we don't know right now. We're looking through all the surveillance video and coming through crime scenes processing, looking at shell casings that were on the scene. Anybody that has any help, please plead out to the community right now. If you know anything, please call Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous, 344-STOP. If you have any information that you can give us.
Do you believe there's any threat to the public at all?
No, right now, there is no known threat to the public. Right here is the safest place in Baton Rouge, in this area. But as we start developing suspects, we're going to run down every single lead that we can to get these people in custody. But it does not appear to be just a random act of violence, but a very targeted kind of disagreement between two groups of people.
How many people in those two groups?
Right now, I don't want to kind of release that information because it's really preliminary.
Do we know?
All right, that was Police Chief T.J. Morse telling us about the investigation involving this shooting at the Mall of Louisiana and the search for those suspects. And
you can help with that search. I have Don Coppola with Crime Stoppers on the phone with us right now. Don, thanks for joining us. Explain how important it is for the community to be involved in when it comes to situations like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, Deon, Tisha. Crime Stoppers, that's a name you hear that is not a stranger to anyone. 867, the P3 Tips app. You can submit that information, those tips anonymously. And if your information helps identify or leads to the apprehension, you're eligible for a cash reward. So again, Crime Stoppers, 344-7867, or the P3 Tips app is the way to anonymously submit your tip. And we rely on the community. They see this on WAFB, the Crime Stoppers Fugitives, and we need your help. And we want you to pick up those phones and get us that information so we can pass it on to investigators to help expedite this investigation.
What if people think that what they know isn't going to help and that it's so small it probably doesn't mean anything? What would you say to them?
Tisha, I would say that not knowing what investigators have, that may be the missing piece that person is holding to help them with their investigation. So it doesn't matter if we get repeat calls, repeat information. We want everything that someone has so we can pass on to help investigators with what they may be missing. And if they already have it, you know what? They already have it. No big deal. But we would rather have it than not.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about Crime Stoppers, Don, and if you can reiterate this for the people watching at home, that they can leave the tips anonymously.
100%. We do everything to protect someone's anonymity. So just know that. And a lot of people, hey, I don't care if somebody knows. Well, that's not how the program works. We protect your anonymity. You will remain anonymous. You're given a password, a code, and that is your identity to us. We will never contact you because we don't know who you are. We just want the information that you have so we can get passed on to investigators.
All right, Don Coppola with Crime Stoppers, thank you so much for your insight, and hopefully we can get some people to call the tip line, 344-STOP, 344-7867, so the police can get to the bottom of this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And as the police chief mentioned, if anyone has video, if anyone has any information, please call Crime Stoppers or the police department. Let's kind of look at this again. Shooting at the Mall of Louisiana. It happened around 1:22. There are 10 victims. 2 that we know are in critical condition at Our Lady of the Lake Medical Center.
And police have the situation under control. It is not an active shooter situation. The police chief telling us that this was apparently some kind of beef, an argument that started between 2 groups of people, and then that's when the shooting began. No random shooting. So there was an argument, and that's how investigators say this all started. They're still looking for the suspected shooter or shooters in this situation. And again, that number, Crime Stoppers, 344-STOP, 344-7867. You do not have to give your name, and if your tip does lead to an arrest, you can get a cash reward.
We know that cell phone service has been kind of in and out right now because everyone trying to use their cell phones. But we do know that if you have someone that was either working at the mall or they were going to the mall as a customer, there is a reunification area set up at the AMC Theater there near the mall. So a lot of people are being picked up there. They were being told to go there. Some people had to leave their cars in the mall parking lot and walk over, and they're having to walk to the perimeter of where the police have set up to get rides home. So if you're looking for someone and your cell phone is not working, we've had a lot of complaints about that, people not being able to use their phones because of all of the activity in the area. People are being either told to go to AMC, but if you can get a hold of them, they may have to walk to where you are because the police have set up a perimeter there, and they're still doing a very active investigation right now, trying to find as much as they can find to lead to these suspects.
Yeah, and AMC is just right off the main mall property. You have to cross a street. It's right next to the Nordstrom Rack. So that a very expansive property there where the AMC is. I frequent that area pretty often. So that is, as Tisha was saying, the reunification area for anyone who may have been working at the mall or just shopping at the mall at the time of this incident. So if you can't get in touch with them, possibly making your way to AMC, and you might be able to see them there.
Yeah, our crews will remain on the scene there at the mall, also at Our Lady of the Lake, where people are being treated there, some having to have surgery, some coming in with gunshot wounds who were just at the mall today, not even involved in any of this, innocent bystanders who are also victims. We talked to the lady who operates the carousel there, where all of the children would normally gather, and she was telling us that she saw the whole thing. She had to radio to security that shots were fired at the food court where this shooting happened, and multiple people were hit, and she reported that and rendered aid to those people. She told us she had to go and find some rags to help them dress their bullet wounds. But one thing that we can say is that there was a very, very quick, thorough, active response from all agencies in the area, securing the scene, getting people injured out to the hospital, and also getting those customers and employees out.
And we just got some breaking news here from our Greg Merriweather, who's on the scene. According to his law enforcement sources, there's 1 person dead now, 9 people injured. So that's the total of 10 victims in this. This information just coming into our newsroom. Which we did not want to see happen, but unfortunately at this point They are telling us that 1 person is dead, 9 injured. All of the people were able to get to a hospital either through EMS or through a private car.
Yeah, we had reported a little earlier that there were 2 people that we knew were critical, hoping for a better ending to this situation and that all lives could have been saved. But several gunshot wounds that had to be addressed, and that critical situation has now turned into a fatal situation.
Yeah, and so as you continue to look at these live pictures, we're going to leave you with this. We're going to take you back to your regularly scheduled programming. Our coverage of this does not stop. It continues at our next newscast at 4 o'clock. You can join us then at 4, 5, and 6 for the latest on the deadly shooting at the Mall of Louisiana.
Achieves a certain G.
When you've been in the industry for over 20 years, you learn a few things. For one thing, you learn your product inside and out. But you also learn how to ask the right questions and give satisfying answers. Jim's Firearms.
Oh my God, I was so close. This is hands down the best game ever. There are no ads and no deposit is required to start. If you've got the skills, you can win up to $42 in a single round. I've been playing for a month now and I've already racked up 3,000 SC. And the best part, I withdrew it all directly to my account. If you want to take on the challenge and make some extra cash, download it now and give it a shot.
Tile Explorer. Designed for seniors. Large tiles. Reduce eye fatigue. 87.5% of seniors play Tile Explorer to prevent memory loss and get better sleep. Neuroscientists beg seniors to try this free game.
Preparing for tax season can be sort of a hassle. We get it. Luckily, Fiber experts are here to help.
Whether you're a small business, a freelancer, or an individual who needs their taxes done, we've got you covered.
From preparation to filing, we're here to help with your tax returns.
So head to Fiverr and let vetted accountants, lawyers, and enrolled agents handle your taxes so you can handle everything else.
How about that? Bring it on back. Look where we at. How about that?
WAFB 9 News starts now with breaking news.
We're learning more about a man accused of plotting a mass shooting at a festival in New Orleans. With that, hey everyone, welcome to 9 News at Noon. I'm Matt Venezia. Our Dion Guillory's been making some phone calls, working on this story all morning long. He's with us now in studio to share what he's learned. Dion.
Well, Matt, that terror suspect is Christopher Gillum from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. The former police officer was arrested in Destin, Florida last night, accused of plotting a mass shooting at a festival in New Orleans. And in just the last 30 minutes, we learned Gillum was named Officer of the Year last year. That's him in uniform. Now take a look at this. This is his mugshot. The Okaloosa County, Florida Sheriff's Office says Gillum was arrested without incident at a hotel in Destin. They say they found a handgun and approximately 200 rounds of ammunition from Gillum's hotel room. That's the other picture you see on the left side of your screen. Investigators say he planned to travel to a festival in New Orleans to commit a mass shooting. It is not known which festival, but Jazz Fest starts today. We do have a statement from Jazz Fest organizers on our website, WAFB.com, right now. Gillum is now being held in the Okaloosa County Jail until he is brought back here to Louisiana. Now, Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill speaking out after this arrest, telling us, quote, excellent work by Louisiana State Police and the FBI as part of